The unforgiving chill of a London morning, the rhythmic thud of running shoes against the pavement, the everyday bustle of Putney Bridge. All of it, a familiar symphony of urban life. Then, a single, horrifying note shattered the peace. A note that would echo across the globe and leave behind a chilling question. Who was the jogger who pushed a woman in front of a bus? And why? For years. That's how long it's been since the world first witnessed the Putney Bridge incident. A crime that remains as unsettling today as the moment it was captured on camera. The grainy images, now burned into the collective consciousness, depict a scene of unadulterated terror, an act of violence so abrupt, so utterly senseless, that it defies easy explanation. The victim, a woman walking across the bridge, is suddenly propelled into the path of a speeding bus. Miraculously, she's spared. The driver, reacting with lightning-fast reflexes, swerves, narrowly avoiding a tragedy. And the perpetrator? He continues jogging, his pace undisturbed, disappearing into the morning crowd. To understand the enormity of what happened, we need to delve into the setting. Putney Bridge, a Victorian structure of granite and iron, arches gracefully over the River Thames. It's a vital artery in the city, a bustling thoroughfare connecting the affluent district of Putney with the more working-class area of Fulham. Thousands of people cross it every day, a mix of commuters, tourists, and locals going about their daily lives. It's a place of ordinary moments, a backdrop for countless routines. And on that fateful morning, December 7th, 2017, it became the stage for a scene of unimaginable horror. The crisp December air, carrying the scent of the river and the distant hum of traffic, would soon be thick with a palpable sense of fear. Pedestrians, bundled against the early morning cold, navigated the worn cobblestones, their thoughts likely on the day ahead. Putney itself, a leafy suburb in southwest London, is a place of quiet residential streets, smart boutiques, and well-maintained parks, a community that generally prides itself on its safety and the sense of order that permeates its daily rhythm. Fulham, on the other side of the river, shares a similar character, though perhaps with a slightly more bohemian edge in certain pockets. The bridge, therefore, acts as a conduit between these intertwined communities, a shared space that hums with the diverse lives of its residents. On that particular morning, the weather was typical for early December cold, with a biting wind whipping off the Thames, and a low, gray sky threatening a further descent into winter gloom. The low light conditions, while contributing to the eerie quality of the CCTV footage, also added another layer of difficulty for investigators. Investigators painstakingly reviewed hours of footage from a network of CCTV cameras, each offering a slightly different perspective of the bridge and its approaches. This meticulous process involved creating timelines, mapping movements, and cross-referencing every individual captured on film. They painstakingly analyzed the jogger's gait, his clothing, and any subtle mannerisms that might offer a clue to his identity, comparing his stride to known patterns and scrutinizing his posture for any signs of distress or unusual intent. Public appeals were launched, showing still images of the suspect, hoping someone would recognize him from his neighborhood, his gym, or even a chance encounter, creating a stark visual plea for information. The jogger, the central figure in this macabre drama, is the ultimate enigma. The CCTV footage provided investigators with clear images of him, a man in athletic gear, seemingly in his 30s. He was running in the middle of the road, a seemingly innocuous act that would soon turn sinister when he made his move. This was captured by multiple cameras, offering the police valuable but still ultimately insufficient information. He wore a gray t-shirt, dark shorts, and a dark watch. A baseball cap was pulled low over his forehead, partially obscuring his face, a common accessory for runners, but one that now serves as a frustrating barrier to identification. The video evidence is there, undeniable, a silent witness to a moment of sheer barbarity. Yet, despite it all, his identity remains a mystery. He vanished into the London mist, leaving behind only the ghost of his actions and the chilling question of his motives. The casual, almost nonchalant way he pushed the woman and continued his run is what haunts everyone who has watched the footage. It's this apparent lack of empathy that makes this crime so terrifying. It wasn't a crime of passion, where emotions might run high, or a crime of opportunity, born of a sudden impulse. It appeared to be a crime without any discernible logic. The sheer unpredictability of his actions left investigators grappling with a void of motive. Was it a moment of unchecked aggression, a deeply disturbed individual, or something else entirely? The absence of any apparent connection to the victim amplified the unsettling nature of the attack, suggesting a perpetrator capable of striking without provocation, blending seamlessly back into the anonymity of the city. Investigators explored various avenues, considering the possibility of random acts of violence, or even a deeply ingrained mental health issue manifesting in such a disturbing act. They scoured databases for similar incidents and consulted with psychological experts, but the jogger's lack of a criminal record or prior history of violence made profiling an elusive endeavor, adding to the frustrating lack of progress. For the victim, the psychological scars of the attack will likely never fully heal. She was forced into a life-or-death situation by a stranger, a deeply violating experience that shakes one's fundamental sense of security. The fact that her attacker remains at large only compounds the trauma, leaving a lingering sense of unease and the persistent, gnawing question of whether she might encounter him again. How does one ever feel safe again after such an act of betrayal? How does one come to trust others, particularly strangers, after such a profound breach of personal safety? The psychological ramifications are profound, likely including hypervigilance, anxiety, and a deep-seated fear of public spaces. Therapy and support systems are crucial, but the scars of such an event run deep. The victim, whose identity has been protected by authorities, is a testament to resilience. She has spoken, through intermediaries, of the constant battle to reclaim her sense of normalcy, of the days when the memory of that violent shove feels as fresh as the moment it happened. She represents the human cost of this unsolved mystery, a life irrevocably altered by the actions of a man whose motivations remain shrouded in darkness. The unsolved case of the Putney Bridge jogger is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can exist within human nature, the capacity for inexplicable cruelty that can surface in seemingly ordinary individuals. It's a story of senseless violence, of a life almost cut short, and of a perpetrator who seemingly vanished into thin air. Despite the mountain of evidence captured on camera, despite the exhaustive efforts of the Metropolitan Police, the jogger remains at large, a phantom whose motives remain as elusive as his identity. The case stands as a stark, unsolved puzzle, a dark stain on the otherwise mundane tapestry of urban life. The Metropolitan Police are currently appealing for any information to help them solve the case. They have released updated appeals, highlighting the passage of time and reiterating the importance of any detail, no matter how seemingly insignificant. If you have any information, no matter how small, contact the London Metropolitan Police or any relevant authorities. Even 4 years later, new leads can emerge. Old information can be vital. There are people out there with knowledge who have not come forward yet, maybe out of fear, maybe for some other unknown reason, or perhaps they simply didn't realize the significance of what they saw. The truth is out there, a missing piece in this disturbing narrative, and it is waiting to be discovered, to bring a measure of closure to the victim and to the public who have been captivated and unsettled by this enduring mystery. The hope remains that one day, the question of who the jogger was, and why he acted as he did, will finally be answered, bringing an end to this lingering disquiet and a sliver of peace to those affected.